Yo brothers, time for another delsol video. We got it back. This time we're gonna do some, well, he's doing the front sway bar, but we are not showcasing that today. Today we're doing the rear sway bar, which takes quite a bit of fabrication. Not a ton, but just a little bit, but we're gonna show you what's going on. So the way that this one works is we kind of have it laid up in there already. He has drilled some of the holes that he needs to make it fit that one hole down there, but we'll kind of demonstrate a little bit more as we go along. And these brackets he had already installed that come with the kit, and they're gonna hold the link on down here on the rear strut. And there's a little bit of maneuver, and his exhaust is actually in the way, so where it's gonna sit, it's actually gonna hit the exhaust. So if you guys have custom exhaust, it may be an issue as well, so something to be aware of. But other than that, it's not too big of a deal. Just takes a little bit of cutting and a little bit of fabrication, but we're gonna get it done, so check it out. So one thing we got to do, just because of the holes that are drilled for the sway bar body bushings, inside here, if you look, so you see the nut in there, right next to the hole, next to my finger there. So that's in the way. It's not gonna be able to put our bolt in there and mount it flush. So we have to cut that part out in order to mount that. So right now we're gonna remove these lower arms so that we can get in there.
I wish I knew that.
So upon further inspection, there's not enough room to get a Sawzall blade in here and not cut the nut that's above it. So what we're gonna do is use a torch and wash the bolt off, like you've seen if you watch on some of the other videos. We just heat that and basically just cut that off the side. And most of the time it doesn't cut any of it. Maybe it'll get a little bit, but a lot of times it stays good. It's on fire!
Who's got the water?
I got the water.
Don't worry about it.
I was on the edge, guys. I almost blew it apart, but I didn't. It's pretty close though. Got that little bubble there. My lens is dirty as hell, but you know, I'll clean it up in a second. But it's pretty clean. We're definitely gonna have to file it down to make it flat so that the bolt going in doesn't. Right, dude, I'm in the way, dude. I'm just in the way.
Still hot.
So I got a little overzealous with the torch and ended up cutting it more than I thought, and it blew a hole in it. So now I put some weld on it. He's gonna sand it down, get it nice and flush. But it's one of those things with the torch, you really gotta be careful with how you cut that. Or unless you have a welder, then it's easy to just put it back where it's supposed to be. Dude, it's about the jackhammer arms. So the way they have the sway bar mount on here with the bracket and all is they have the bracket here, and it does bolt on the top on the original sway bar bolt hole. The only difference is the bottom where it has to get realigned. They say to basically drop it straight down, which is pretty much what he has here, but we're seeing that it's gonna be way too close to the control arm, and as you can see when he was drilling, it actually shaved a little bit of it already. So what we're gonna do is weld that hole completely up, put this bolt in the top, hold it straight down, and then see how much over it's gonna be, just so that we clear the control arm, because when we put the nut on the back side, the bolt's fine, but the nut actually hits the control arm. So what we have to do is move it over just a hair. Before you guys do it, just drill out the original hole where the nut is, and that'll be a good spot to put the bottom one in, just because now we gotta weld this up and actually move it over some. So if you do that from the beginning, you'll be good to go. Cinematic effects, look at that. All right, now that we got it welded up here, gonna grind it flat, make sure the backside's flat too so our nut sits on it correctly, and then we'll drill some new holes. We'll show you in a minute. Yeah, look at them. Now here we are, nice and cleaned up. Looks like nothing ever happened. Like it was made to be like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Once you paint it up,
so now we're doing this. Line it up straight up and down, and then we're just gonna use those center punches we've used before. I'll again put them in the link description below because these are the shit. Where depending on the size hole, it fills the hole and then has a little center punch in there to get the exact center, so you don't have to worry about drilling off center. And then we'll go from there. All right, so once again we are changing our design here. The plates, the steel is just a little too thin, so drilling through it just kind of fell apart. it's not really working the way we want it to. So what they're doing over there right now, if you can hear them grinding, is they're just making a template that fits this inner plate, and we're gonna plate it and then cut the spacer down so that fits in here a lot nicer. So this is the shape. Look, a little Laguna Seca action over here. Just taking some plate steel. Oh, he's getting it tightened out.
Don't forget
That's
to explain why we're doing that.
Dude, plush. When you got Chippy J on the job, look at the fitment. Looks like it was born for that.
That'll work.
So we'll just weld around that, make it one piece, and then we'll drill a hole down here wherever it lays. We'll find out.
We'll redo everything we just did.
This is why, when you do this, just don't follow the instructions. Just put it right in the bolt holes that originally come with it, because it seems to work out way better as far as the fitment with the control arm and all that, like I explained earlier. But just, yeah, take our notes and don't do it the way we got to do it, because now we're doing way more work than we have to. Oh, look at the weld job over there. Yeah, so clarification. So how I was saying, like, just go original bolt holes, but like he was saying, like you heard him, if you're going perpendicular, does not line up with that bottom bolt hole, so it is supposed to be off center. So the fact that we've gone this far, you might have to do the same thing just because of where it is and how it needs to go. Not sure, but you know, just take what we go and just learn from our mistakes. And if you just don't forget that you may have to go this far to make it work. So round 2, fight! Look at the pristine paint job. Look at the professionalism right there as he gets it stuck in his eye. How close? How close are we really talking?
Tighter than.
Oh,
that's not
my, dude.
It's close.
Oh, look at the clearance.
Tighter than a gnat's ass.
Yeah, dude. That's why we had to move it, guys. Otherwise, it wasn't gonna fly. Yeah, Chippy J over here. Spacers that came with it, he had to shave them how much? Eighth?
I guess our metal is at 1/8.
So our metal pieces that we used were 1/8, so we shaved these down an 1/8 so we could match how much distance we got. When you don't have time for paint to cure, hit it with a torch.
The outside, the inside plate, the spacer, and a washer and a nut on the back.
Set 1. Here's mock-up, just make sure everything's lined up and just straight up and down. We ended up having to put a little spacer in the back just to make sure this was straight up and down. We could have shaved the spacer down a little bit more, but it's more of a pain in the butt, so we just threw another washer in the back of that. Everything will work out fine. So now that we got it all bolted up, what we have to do is you can't tighten these bottom ones once the control arm's in. So what we're gonna do so that we can still move the bar left to right if we need to, because we don't know exactly where it's gonna sit, what we're gonna do is tighten the bottom ones by themselves first, and leave the top ones loose so that we can just move the bar back and forth if we have to get it square. And then put the lower control arms on, get it all the fitment right, and then lock the top one in place. In case you're wondering, this kit comes with American, not metric. Alright, so this is the scoop, brothers. This exhaust is hitting the sway bar. Yes, there it is. Oh my god, there's the obvious hit. And so it's hitting the bumper.
Oh, you can always see where it's doing it.
And what we're going to do is cut out the bumper so it fits a little better. But it's not going to give us all the clearance we're looking for, but it's going to give us a good idea of where we want to go. We may have to shorten the hangers to get it higher, but for now we're going to cut the bumper because we know we're going to need it either way. Well, he's using cutoff wheel, if you can't see, to make the contour to match the wow.
Curve of the exhaust?
Yes, the curve of the exhaust. I was trying to be more technical, but that's fine.
Oh.
See the helicopter flying around over there? My goodness, thing's huge. Look at how big that thing is. It doesn't look big on camera, but trust me, it's as big as my thumb is. It's flying around here. This is what you call
going airtight.
Going airtight. Look at the colors out here, guys. Let me turn this down a little bit. Ooh, look at that. Looking at the sunset, dude. It's beautiful out here. So the idea here is the muffler, the exhaust tubing, as you saw, is hitting the sway bar link. So what we're gonna do is take said muffler and exhaust tubing. And what we're gonna do is extend, because right now it's hitting like right here where that mark is. And so we're gonna extend it 1.5 inches in here so that the highest point of it's gonna be right where the sway bar is. And we might even pie cut it a little bit so it angles it up to give you more clearance. And then by adding the 1.5 inches here, we're gonna take out 1.5 inches here so the muffler still sits in the same place so the hangers will fit, although we do have to shorten the hangers so that the muffler sits higher up in the bumper. That's why we cut it and all. But if you don't understand it, all this will make sense. I'll show you all the fab. But tonight, it's a little late. We're gonna get out of here for now. So right now we just took it off and we're gonna run it open and get back to you guys on another day. All right, so we're gonna cut it right here at this point because we pretty much did all the sway bar stuff. You may not have the issue with the exhaust that we have because obviously it's aftermarket, it's not the stock exhaust, although most of you guys probably have some aftermarket exhaust on it, but we're gonna do it in 2 parts just because of the length of the video. So we're gonna cut it here. We're gonna do the exhaust modifications in a different video. I'm not sure when it'll come out, but just keep an eye out for it and we'll have it. But either way, let me know what you guys think about this video so far. If there's any questions, let us know. We're always willing to help. And I'll put all the information for the sway bar and whatnot in the link below because I know that I didn't say that in the beginning of the video. Either way, hope this helped you guys and let me know if you have any questions. See you on the next one.